What if the system judging your performance is actually flawed? Today, I will show you how performance appraisals work, how performance appraisals can make or break your career. Performance appraisal evaluates employee job performance. The core job of performance appraisal is to measure the contribution towards organizational goal. It is an essential component of the HRM. HR team performs it regularly, but they must know the key HR appraisal rules, and you as an employee must also be aware that how they measure the performance. Objectives of performance appraisal are extremely simple. Assess the performance objectively, not biasly, objectively. Identify the training need of the employees, that next year they perform better, you need to identify their training needs, and to determine the promotions and rewards based on their performance, ultimately improving the employee motivation. If the right person is promoted, then definitely others will also feel better, they will also work hard next year. If the wrong person is promoted, then the objectives of performance appraisal are not met. Importance of performance appraisal. Performance appraisals are extremely important because they enhance the employee accountability, they support career development programs, they align employee goal with the strategy, and ultimately improving the communication between the manager and the employees. Traditional performance appraisals were based on ranking methods, paired comparison, graphic rating scale, force distribution method. So how the ranking methods worked, or still people use these. They rank the employees from best to worst. It is simple to implement. It may create unhealthy competition, and subjectivity risk is also there because it is extremely difficult to rank all the employees from best to worst. One person might be good in something, another person can be good in something else. In the paired comparison method, what companies do, they compare each employee with others, and then they see where the employee stands. They determine the relative performance, and more systematic than the ranking of worst to best, the ranking method we discussed earlier. The next is graphing rating scale. Evaluate the performance on predictive criteria, that make a criteria of performance against each employee and then see the graphing rating scale. Use numerical scales, and this is common in many organizations. Force distribution method is what we used to do. I worked for 15 years in telecom sector. I was in strategy department, so I had to do all these works. So in forced, what we do, employees are categorized into performance groups. You make sort of group of excellent top performers, then mediocres, then low performers. It prevents the rating inflation, and sort of dominate the few employees groups. Modern appraisal method is management by objective, MBO, 360-degree feedback, behavioral anchored rating scales, and assessment centers. When we talk about management by objectives, it means that joint goal setting between manager and employee. This I used to do in one company. I have to name it because they won the best employer award for I think 4 to 5 times. The Telenor. uh, Over there, you have to set your goals in start of the year with the manager, and then at the end you are tracked based on those goals. Performance measured against agreed targets. Both employee and manager decide these are the targets, and performance is evaluated based on those. It encourages the participation, it also encourages the accountability. 360-degree feedback is feedback from supervisor, peer, and subordinates. This is so important that in traditional organizations, only boss used to give the feedback. So feedback is when started from the subordinates, when started from the from what they call the peers, then definitely it brings the 360 view. In addition, what in 360-degree feedback happens, that the feedback of a boss can never be more than average feedback or overall feedback of its subordinates. So in this way, it's a 360 feedback. If the employees are not performing well, then boss also does not get rewarded. So this is something which is 360-degree feedback. It is a comprehensive evaluation method, and it promotes the holistic development framework. Behaviorally anchored rating scale, BIRDS. Behavior bias performance indicators based on the behavior of the employee. It is reduces sort of subjectivity, and it clears the performance expectation. Assessment centers. So different organizations have these, particularly the multinationals can also afford it. Simulation and role play methods evaluate leadership and decision making skills used for managerial positions. Key performance indicators is KPI is one of the key thing that obviously every employee gets, and they are tracked based on the KPIs, measurable performance standards aligned with the organizational strategy, and there are quantitative and qualitative metrics that help in measurement of the KPIs. Performance appraisals process. So 5 steps. First, you set the performance standards, then you communicate the expectations, then measure the performance, provide the feedback, and take the corrective action if there are any required. Common appraisal errors that mostly HR professionals or people make is hollow effect, horn effect, central tendency bias, and leniency or strictness bias. Link between appraisal and compensation. So this is the core thing that where fairness must be done, where hollow effect must not be implemented, horn effect must not be there. Performance based bonuses must be given to the employees. Merit-based pay must be increased. Promotion decision must be based on the merit, and recognition system must be active. So those definitely the bigger companies, they all the time give the top performance award, the excellent performance award to the employees to appreciate them. Performance appraisal in age of AI is extremely becoming easy because you can see the real-time performance dashboards. Managers get real-time updates on daily basis. This thing we used to do 10 years ago in telecom sector when I was working there. I still guide a lot of the companies as a university teacher, as a business consultant. AI-driven analytics are common these days. Continuous feedback systems are there. Reduced human bias through the data. Now, performance management versus appraisal. Appraisal is equal to product evaluation, while the performance management is something continuous, continuous process improvement, focus on development, not just evaluation. The performance management thing. Advantages of effective appraisal: improves employee productivity if you do it effectively, enhances engagement, identify future leaders, and support the organizational goals. There are challenges that companies face, and they will keep on facing because appraisals all the time are not sort of 100% objective all the time. There is subjectivity involved, time consuming process, employee resistance, and inconsistent standards exist. Examples of GE forced a ranking system. This was extremely popular. General Electric, Jack Welch implemented it to ensure that employees all the time stay active. Performance differentiation approach was introduced. Controversial but effective in some contexts, revised in modern performance systems. Exams and interview focus points. For the students, they must understand the traditional and the modern methods. They must be able to explain the MBO and 360-degree feedback. They must be able to identify appraisal errors, and they must be able to link the appraisals to the motivation theories. Key takeaways we can conclude from this lecture is that performance appraisal ensures accountability, modern methods emphasize development, continuous feedback improvement is required, and AI enhances the objectivity in 2030 onward. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.